We have made it to season number 3 of the Denver Broncos franchise here on Madden 25. And today we've got our first 2 games of the year, hosting the New England Patriots on Monday Night Football, followed by a matchup against one of our arch division rivals, the reigning AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs. These are going to be 2 tough games. Obviously, we know how good the Chiefs are. They've won our division for about 27,000 years in a row. But New England is going to be a fun matchup too. Like us, the Patriots were one of the most improved teams in the NFL a year ago and should give us a really competitive game. We're also going to go through the preseason today as well and narrow down who will make our final roster. Last episode was the 2026 NFL Draft. No shortage of fireworks, with Cade Klubnik going number 1 to the Browns, Avery Johnson 2nd overall to the Seahawks, starting a run that saw 6 quarterbacks go in the first round. Most surprisingly, the Eagles drafting Nico Iamaleava 10th overall. As for us, I really like how our draft turned out. We really focused on upside, not necessarily getting the highest rated of players outside of the first round, but a lot of guys who I think can be really good long-term contributors. Our top pick was cornerback Colin Wright out of Stanford. We chose him over the Clemson corner Avion Terrell because I think Wright is the better pure cover player, even if he doesn't have the ball skills and playmaking instincts that Terrell has. If we end up making the wrong choice, we'll know about it for a while because he's in our division with the Raiders. As we look at all of these teams by their development traits, most teams have between, I would say, 3 to 6 hidden dev players. I think we ended up with 5. And then you got the Bears with 10, which is kind of hilarious. The other funny thing I found through this is Washington, who only has 1 superstar on the roster, and it is their fullback. Literally, their entire team is star dev players, although I will point out Peter Woods, their number 4 overall pick, does have superstar. So, remember, we went into the draft with 2 first-rounders, number 5 and number 27. Well, with our 27th pick, we used it in a trade with the Giants for left tackle Andrew Thomas. Offensive line is our biggest need going into the offseason, and we made it a lot better. Now, Thomas has not been great over the last couple of seasons. He's led up 13 sacks over the last 2 years, and that's with 10 missed games in that stretch, having missed 5 in each of the last 2 years. Last year, he led up 8 sacks in 12 games, hence why his value has gone down. But he's still a really good player who's under contract for a while and should be our long-term starter at the left tackle position for the next 4 years. I think we turned our offensive line from a weakness into a possible strength with the additions of Thomas and then Rasheed Walker, who we signed in free agency, who's going to play right tackle. So that brings us into the season. In the preseason, we will face off against New Orleans. We'll get to see Avery Johnson in Seattle and then travel to Detroit to face off against the Lions. And then as we look at our regular season schedule, last year we did not have any primetime games. And after the first 7 weeks of last season, I thought that would be the case again this year, but then we went on our big run. And now everyone wants to see the Broncos. Obviously, Monday night today against New England. We've got Monday night against the Chargers in Week 7, followed by Sunday night against the Bills, a playoff rematch in the game that we won. We've got Monday night against Houston and Sunday night against the Dolphins after our Week 13 bye week. We also play the Raiders twice in that stretch. As for free agent signings, I brought back some familiar faces. Zamir White, Rasul Faison, Christian Horn, Savion Williams, and Jamari Bellamy are all back. Here are some of the other undrafted guys I signed, including Kansas corner Avante Dickerson. And then I also brought in Geno Smith as our 3rd quarterback. The Patriots, ironically, ended up signing DJ Uiagalelei, which was fine with me because we drafted Garrett Nussmeier. Most of our Kansas guys ended up getting drafted on day 3, but there were a couple undrafted players that I want to highlight. Moody Rubin's going to Seattle. I like the landing spot. They need receiver depth, and he'll probably make the roster. But now he's teammates with Avery Johnson. Not sure how to feel about that. And then Josh Krutzer, starting center, is headed to the Minnesota Vikings. He'll be staying in Big Ten country, where he played most of his college ball at the University of Illinois. So, as we promised in the offseason, we made a splash on the offensive side of the ball. I said I was going to make a big move, and I did, with the addition of Andrew Thomas. Adding him, Rasheed Walker, and some of our raw draft picks really gets me excited about the future of the offensive line. I think Francis Mauigoa, who we drafted in the 3rd round, could be a really nice piece in the future. And then Ross Ulugalu Masayuli, the center out of San Diego State in the 7th round, has hit in development. As you guys know, my philosophy throughout the preseason is to not play the starters too much, get certain guys a little bit of run. Obviously, we're going to play all the rookies and some of the second-year players, but for the most part, the vets aren't going to play too much. I am going to give Bo Nix a little action in the last game, though, just so he can get a drive or two under his belt and he can be ready to go for week 1. I'm intrigued by what we've got with the skill position groups. I want to see Harold Fannin and Chris Brazzell, 2 of our day 2 selections this year, play well. I'm not sure if either of them are going to have big roles this season, but if they play well in the preseason, they certainly could. We're going to have a few different guys rotate in and out at running back. Zamir White won't really play, and Ashton Genty won't play either. We already know what we have with those 2 guys, and I'm a little bit gun-shy with Genty after he missed the entire second half of the year with an injury last year, but I am excited to report that he is 100% healthy and ready to go for this year. Defensively, we are playing a few of our key guys from last year, Jeffrey Bossa, Michael Williams, Jonah Ellis. I'm excited to see more Savon Revel and Benjamin Morrison. And then Riley Moss is playing at safety. That's the plan with him this year with the addition of Colin Wright. We had a logjam at corner, and so Riley Moss will play safety now. We've got a press conference and some things to go over as we get ready for our season. The media is probably going to be bombarding us with questions now that we have expectations for this football team. So let's talk about where we are in training camp and a question about the 3rd round draft pick, Francis Mauigoa, who we traded up for. An interesting strategy to trade up for a developmental player who's not going to play for probably 2 to 3 years, but I really like the upside with him. I think we could be looking at a future Pro Bowler, and I'm definitely wanting him to work on his technique. He's going to get a lot of run in the preseason because I don't foresee him playing in the regular season at all. Now they're going to ask us about a position battle, specifically at the tight end position, which is certainly an interesting one. The funny part is that they are pinning the battle between Rivaldo Fairweather and Harold Fannin. Neither of those guys are probably going to start at tight end. It's probably going to be Jonnu Smith. I'm not going to say there's no battle, though, because I think that's a bad answer. But I think Jonnu's going to start at tight end, and then at some point we hope that Harold Fannin Jr. passes him up. Maybe Rivaldo Fairweather does. I guess that would be cool, too. Riley Moss apparently thinks his personality is a problem. Never really noticed that, but okay. So I think it wouldn't hurt to make him a little bit more of a leader. He's one of the older guys now. I mean, maybe not older is the right word, but he's an established veteran who's been a solid player over the last few years. It's a contract season for him as well. He's got to play well to earn an extension. But he's one of the guys who's been here since the first episode and has had a big role since then. So if we can make him more of a leader, I guess that would be a win. We end up going 2-1 here in the preseason. Looks like everybody in our division did really well. We lost to the Saints, we beat Seattle, and then we beat Detroit on the road. Let's talk about some notable performers, good and bad. We did have a battle for the backup quarterback spot between Garrett Nussmeier and Geno Smith. Obviously, Nuss played a little bit more because he has way less NFL reps, but Geno was the better of the two. So I think Geno Smith will be the regular backup and Nuss will be the third stringer. None of the running backs played very well, unfortunately. Although I do think Chris Brazzell II was quite impressive, and maybe he gets a bigger role with this receiving core sooner than expected. Harold Fannin was also pretty solid. Mauigoa did let up 2 sacks, as expected, pretty raw. And then defensively, Jonah Ellis was the standout on this side of the ball. He ended up with 3 sacks. And then Marvin Grant, who got a little bit of run, ended up with an interception. So we've got to cut 18 players, but we're going to get rid of a couple guys first without cutting them. Brandon Jones is on the move to the Panthers. We'll be sending him and a future 7th for a current 6 and a future 6. With Riley Moss moving to safety, I don't think we really need Jones that much anymore. I still think he has trade value, given that I thought he was pretty good last year, but obviously he doesn't have that much value. He's an older player nearing 30. We're going to put Harrison Whaley on IR as well. He hurt his shoulder in the last game against the Lions, which is unfortunate because I was hoping he would have a role this year. He might in the second half of the season, but for a while he will be out. Based on what you said in the press conference, Fairweather won the battle. Do you agree? No. But I have to answer politely here. But he definitely did not win the battle because I said it would be who had more catches between the two of them. And Harold Fannin had more catches. He also had more yards, and he had more touchdowns. So on what merit did Rivaldo Fairweather win the tight end battle, the fake tight end battle to be specific, over Harold Fannin? I don't get it. As we get ready to make our roster cuts, we're going to talk about our team identity with this reporter. And I think offensively, I want to be a balanced unit. we're a team who's ran the ball well over the last couple of years, and it's nice having Ashton Jeanty back healthy. But I also want to be able to beat teams through the air. I don't think it's realistic to run the ball 50% of the plays. 1,500 yards as a team seems a little bit more reasonable. So with Brandon Jones traded and Harrison Whaley on IR, we now have 16 roster spots that we need to remove. We're going to roll with 3 quarterbacks this year. Geno Smith has made the final roster as a late free agent. Rashul Faison, who had the big injury last year, will go to the practice squad. Good to see him healthy, though, after a scary leg injury. Devon Vele will be cut. Kobe Prentice, I am pretty excited about that addition. He'll go to the practice squad with Xavier Restrepo. And then Horn and Williams will take the last 2 receiver spots. Savion Williams' role was never really in jeopardy, though. I thought he did some good things for us last year. We're going to roll with the 3 tight ends. Jonnu Smith will open the year as the starter, and we'll see how it goes. These 2 left guards are going to go to the practice squad. All 3 centers will make the final roster, as will Kevin Zeitler as a depth piece. And then Jared Penning will go to the practice squad. Defensively, undrafted rookie from Texas Tech, Joseph Adidire, will make the final roster. Omar Norman Lott, a second-year undrafted player from Tennessee, will also make the final roster. That's pretty cool. Francisco Mauigoa, an undrafted player last year, makes the team. He is the older brother of Francis Mauigoa, so that's pretty cool to have the 2 of them together. And then in the secondary, the last guy we're going to send down is Jordan Oladokin, which means Jamari Bellamy, who was on the practice squad last year. He will make the roster, as will Kansas Jayhawk Avante Dickerson. So now we are here to week 1. I did some scavenging through free agency to see if there was a guy I would want, and I think I'm going to sign Cameron Hayward. We could use a little bit more depth on the defensive line, another body, since we lost John Franklin Myers last offseason, and we never really properly replaced him. So we're going to give Hayward a 1-year deal as a rotational guy. It will be weird to not see him in Steelers colors. So from there, Quantavius Leslie will be taken off of the practice squad, and then Avante Dickerson is no longer on the final roster. He'll be moved over to the practice squad. So with that, the team is locked and loaded for week number 1. Everybody other than Harrison Whaley is healthy, and I'm excited to see the team in action. I think we had a pretty successful offseason. We added some really good long-term pieces through the draft. We struck out in free agency for the most part, other than Rasheed Walker, but we made up for it with the addition of Andrew Thomas, and I'm hopeful we'll be able to build upon the season we had last year, but it's going to be challenging with a really hard schedule upcoming. For the season goal, I feel like we have to shoot higher than we did last year, so I'm going to say win the Super Bowl. It's aggressive, but I want to do better than we did last year, and, well, that would be the goal to do it. We have another press conference here as we get set for our matchup against New England. Next question, Coach. Your fans are curious about how you'll handle your rookie's development. I don't think it's much of a question of what we're doing with Garrett Nussmeier. Does anybody think he's going to play this year? We drafted him as a depth piece to be a backup and could potentially start some games if something were to happen, knock on wood, to Bo Nix. And he got beat out by Geno Smith to be the second stringer. So I don't know what the fans are thinking. They must be a bunch of idiots. But obviously he's going to sit. I think everybody and their mother knew that coming into today's episode. We've got more questions about what we think of our team, what area is the strongest. We focused a lot on the offense this offseason because the defense is the stronger part of the team. As I look at the offense, statistically we had a strong run game last year, and Ashton Jeanty is back healthy. So by definition, I want there to be a sense of urgency from the passing game. Particularly, I want production out of the tight end position, and I'm pretty confident we'll get it, whether it's Jonnu Smith earlier in the year or Harold Fannin. I don't think Rivaldo Fairweather is going to get 75 catches, though. I think that's a little bit unreasonable. But nonetheless, I do think the passing offense is going to be pretty good, and if that's the weak link of this team, then we have a pretty well-rounded roster. From there, it's time to name team captains. We have a number of captains returning from last year. Of course, Patrick Surtain, Bo Nix at quarterback, and then Jonathan Cooper on the defensive line, who we, of course, gave an extension to. There is one other captain who was on last year's team but has been brought back, that being offensive tackle Mike McGlinchey. But we're going to take the captain patch off of him. Not that he doesn't deserve it, but captains are usually starters, and he has been replaced as a starter because he didn't play that well. Our new captains will include Andrew Thomas. We traded him not just for what he's going to provide on the field, but also off the field. Marvin Mims as well. He really stepped up into his role last year. I think he's earned the opportunity to wear the captain's patch. And then Marvin Grant on the defense in just his second season. He was a team captain in year 1 of the Kansas series, and he's older for a young guy. He's already 25. He is a leader. It's like having a veteran back there. He's a really smart player, and I think he's earned the opportunity to be a defensive captain with Jonathan Cooper and Pat Surtain. So with that, we now shift our attention to this game here against the New England Patriots, who had the worst record in the NFL in season number 1. And much like us, they drastically improved last season and are hoping for another jump in year 3. The Patriots did not make the playoffs this season, but they were quite close. Drake May improved quite a bit, and it's going to be an interesting matchup with him and Bo Nix today, 2 third-year quarterbacks who are pretty much at the same level in terms of how good they are. Bo Nix does have a playoff win, but Drake May also has more long-term upside given his higher physical gifts and the fact that he's a couple years younger. Of course, they have Deebo Samuel, who they acquired last year at the deadline, headlining a pretty solid receiving core. The defense, I think, is the strongest piece of this team, though, with last year's number 1 overall pick, Jordan Burch, who ended up winning the Defensive Rookie of the Year in the AFC over Michael Williams. He had less sacks than Williams, but he had more TFLs, I believe, and more tackles overall. They've got some other really good players on defense, including Christian Gonzalez, who is staring down the barrel of the contract extension pretty soon. Christian Barmore as well, superstar development. So it should be a fun one. Primetime football, Monday night, our first regular season primetime game since year number 1. Hopefully we're going to continue to have primetime games in the season ahead. That'll mean people want to watch us because we're a good football team. I'm excited to see what the 2026 season number 3 Denver Broncos have in store, because even though last year's team was a fun ride and a fun journey, I think this year's roster is quite a bit better. We're going to start on offense. Benjamin Morrison, one of the more efficient kick returners in the NFL last year, brings it out to the 30. And we take a look at Bo Nix and company as the offense comes out on the field first. I'm excited to see what Bo Nix looks like in year number 3 after he played some of the best football of his career over the last 5 or 6 games of last season, including the playoffs. It's also nice to have Ashton Jeanty back. He has been injured since week 9 of last year with a fully torn pectoral, but he's fully healthy, back in the lineup. He gets it here on first down to the left side with a run of around 7. With Javonte Williams gone now in Washington, Jeanty's going to have a bigger role. I was excited about those two as a duo, but they only played 2.5 games together last year and didn't share the field after week 3 due to both of them getting hurt. On 2nd and 3, we'll go back to Jeanty, and he loses 2. Jawan Bentley brings him down, and Bo Nix's first pass of the year goes for a loss. Zamir White, I guess, will be the de facto number 2 running back. He's in the game on 3rd down, as that one is hauled in for a first down. The play is made by the new starting tight end, Jonnu Smith. Now from the 29 here on first down, the offense looking good so far as Ashton Jeanty gets it to the left side, looking for a block, tries to juke away from Gonzalez, and gets a nice gain of around 15 yards. A strong run for Ashton Jeanty, who really was one of the best running backs in the NFL last year when healthy. 3rd and 3, short throw. Marvin Mims, his first catch of the year, goes for a score. And the Broncos march right down the field. First drive of the year ends off with a touchdown. Marvin Mims, in the second half of the year when he was healthy, was one of the best receivers in the league. Contract year for him, first-time team captain. He's looking at a lot of money coming his way, and at this rate, it probably will be from us. So here is Drake May leading out the New England offense in his 3rd season out of the University of North Carolina. May certainly is far from a finished product, but he did take some leaps in his 2nd year last season. It's a screen on 3rd down, and Elijah Mitchell gets the first. Marvin Grant read the play perfectly. He was able to sniff out the screen immediately, but he missed the tackle angle and was unable to get the stop. So New England gets the first down. They keep the chains moving. Mitchell back with it to the left side. Annihilates Colin Wright. Might have lost yardage still. Jeffrey Bossa brings him down. Welcome to the league moment for Colin Wright, the 5th overall pick, who got slammed to the ground. 3rd and 11. May goes short. That one is hauled in. Not quite for a first down as it gets around 8. That's Demario Douglas, who's wrapped up by the first-time captain, Marvin Grant. 4th and 3 at the 36, and the Patriots are going to punt it. Okay, that seems a little bit cowardly. It isn't even a good punt. He completely shanked it. That's the worst part. So the Broncos are going to start at the 22. At the very least, if you're going to punt it there, you got to send it inside the 10, not at the 22. Zamir White is going backwards on his first carry of the year, though. Christian Gonzalez brings him down, and now we're looking at a 3rd and 12 with under a minute left in the first. Bo Nix looks to throw it under pressure. Short throw is caught, but not for a first down. Troy Franklin gets around 6. He's wrapped up by the first-round rookie out of Florida State, Azariah Thomas, a player who I think is going to be really, really good. 7-0 through 1. A pretty good start here for Denver. Marched right down the field on our opening drive. The defense has been pretty solid to start as well. It's on 3rd and 5. Mays pass is caught for a first down. Demario Douglas to the 43. The defensive back wanted to play the ball there rather than the receiver, and the decision to be aggressive backfires. At the 43, following play. May, up the middle, it's Deebo Samuel to the 18. A big move at the deadline last year from New England, and they're hoping that he'll be a starter for the Patriots for years to come, pairing with Jalen Polk, Pop Douglas, and the injured Javon Baker. As May is sacked, Mykel Williams brings him down. Cooper a little slow to get up. We're very excited about the year that Mykel Williams is going to have. 11 sacks as a rookie, and he really didn't come along until weeks 7 or 8 last year. So imagine a full year of him being good. Now at the 19, 3rd and 10. May looking. He's got Samuel, who's wrapped up at around the 3-yard line by Drew Sanders. A big play there for Deebo Samuel. And New England is getting close to the end zone looking to tie the game on 1st and goal. Elijah Mitchell loses yardage. Cameron Hayward was there along with the recently extended Nick Benito. 5 years for over $100 million for Benito. 3rd and goal. May on the run, goes short, it's caught, and Hunter Henry is in. It looked like he was off balance, and Drew Sanders, as he was trying to tackle him, pushed him into the end zone. And so the Patriots tie it at 7. Denver gets it back now, 2nd and 5 at the 41. Man in motion, that's Jonnu Smith. Play action. Nix rolls out, under pressure from Birch, looks to run with it, and he's going to try to dive for some extra yards. There are not many quarterbacks in the NFL who are better in play action than Bo Nix. Him and Marvin Mims in particular really developed chemistry on play action plays last year. As Nix looks up the middle on 1st down, he's got Jonnu with plenty of room to run to the 24-yard line. Jonnu Smith is a weapon with the ball in his hands, one of the best tight ends after the catch in the NFL, and I think Harold Fannin has some similar qualities, a big reason why we drafted him. 3rd and 2, Nix scrambles, has room, looks to run, tries to power his way in the end zone as he is wrapped up by Azariah Thomas, but not before scoring the touchdown. Nix only had 1 rushing touchdown in the regular season last year. Granted, he had 2 in the wild card win against Buffalo. But that's going to put us ahead 14-7. Just under 2.5 to go in the first half. Nice throw by Drake May. He's got it to the 3rd-year pro out of the University of Washington, Jalen Polk, who gets it to the 43. Unlike real life, Polk has developed into a solid player here. Under 1:15 to go, 3rd and 5. Big hit to prevent the first down. I don't know why Nick Benito dropped in coverage, but that was a really nice play. And New England's got a decision to make. They could kick the field goal, or they can keep the offense out on the field. I respect the ballsiness. They're going to go for it. On 4th and 1, Elijah Mitchell barely gets it. I thought Basso was going to make a play in the backfield there, but Mitchell's able to get the first down, keeping the chains moving for the Patriots. And now they're going to look to take advantage of this clock, not let Denver have much time with the ball. 2nd and 5, May on the run, goes short. Jalen Polk wrapped up in the end zone for a touchdown. And this game is tied at 14. This one is quickly trending to be a good one. Denver has a little bit of time left here in the first half, 20 seconds. We've got our timeouts. Play action. New England senses it coming on the blitz. Jawan Bentley is in with the sack, and I don't think we're going to get anything on this drive. We're going to let the clock run out, and that's going to wrap up the first half. We've got a good one here in Denver on Monday Night Football. Knotted up at 14 between the Broncos and the Patriots. We don't have a halftime show since all the games have wrapped up. We will in week 2. But we will go over some of the notable scores here across the NFL. On the primetime games, Dallas defeats Houston, so the reigning champs are 1-0. Couple of rookie quarterbacks battling it out in Cleveland. The number 1 pick, Kate Klubnik, gets the win over Alex Orji. who was named the starter over Will Levis in Tennessee. The other rookie, Avery Johnson, in Seattle start the year 1-0. They beat Jalen Daniels and the Raiders. On one hand, it's good that our division rival lost, but on the other hand, I'm not really sure how I feel about Avery Johnson beating Jalen Daniels head-to-head. I guess we can look back to Season 1 of the Kansas series when the Jayhawks beat Kansas State in 5 overtimes. As for other division rivals, the Chargers beat the Cardinals 30-17, and then the Chiefs, who we're going to get to see next week, defeat the Jets 31-23. Although Jalen Milroe did have a pretty good game for the Jets, and now we don't have to root against them because we don't have any of their picks anymore. As we go into the second half, I think overall I've liked what I've seen from the offense. Bo Nix has been pretty efficient, 8 of 11. He's been able to push the ball downfield, and he's looked pretty good up to this point. I feel like we really haven't been able to win the time of possession battle. We've only had 22 offensive plays so far, and we don't start with the ball either. Defensively, I thought we started well early, but it seems like Drake May has really gotten into a rhythm, and we need to get him out of that. 3rd and 6, he's got Pop Douglas with the first down. Nice play after the catch past midfield. The pass rush has been kind of quiet so far. We only had the 1 sack in the red zone. We need more from Browning and Benito, the killer bees, who haven't been impactful in the passing game. Short pass is caught by Benjamin Brahmer, fumbles it, Debo scoops it up on his feet, and there he goes! Baron Browning will not catch him! And Debo Samuel is in for an unconventional scoop and score! New England takes the lead. That's the rookie tight end drafted out of Iowa State, Benjamin Brahmer, and that is clearly a fumble ripped out by Marvin Grant, a good defensive play, but Debo scoops it up, takes it to the house. So now that we know it's a fumble, this play will stand, and the New England Patriots take the lead. How did we not bring him down? Debo picked up the ball as he was on the ground. He was able to get up and make the play. 21-14, there's Bo Nix, slides at the 45. First time tonight that we have been trailing as we look to get the lead back, and we have to start by trying to score a touchdown on this drive and tying it up. 2nd and 1, play action, Nix under pressure on the run. He's got his slot receiver, Tez Johnson, to the 28. A quiet start so far for Tez, coming off a strong rookie season. Led the Broncos in receptions a year ago with 70, along with over 800 yards. And with a bigger role this year, we could be looking at a potential 1,000-yard season if all goes well. 2nd and 4, short throw for Mims. He's only caught 3 passes today. Granted, all 3 of them have been in the red zone, including the touchdown, as he brings it to the 6-yard line. Overall, I think New England has done a pretty good job with Mims, as it's now a 1st and goal. Denver looking to punch it in and tie it up. Nix rolls out, he goes short for Genty, and he is going backwards. He loses 4. Kareem Reed, the 2nd-year linebacker out of Utah, brings him down. A day 3 selection by New England a couple years ago, and a guy they really like. 3rd and goal. We try to run it with Genty, and he gets nothing. Might have gone backwards. Jabril Peppers was there along with Chris Bodie, the undrafted rookie out of Liberty. And we're going to have to settle for 3 as the kick is good by Lutz. I ran it there on 3rd and goal at the 4 to try to put us in a 4th and short situation if we don't score a touchdown, but obviously that backfired. 21-17. May is picked off! Patrick Surtain with the interception! And there is now some life and momentum for the Broncos. A big play there by Surtain, who, of course, was kind of disappointing last year after signing the extension, but I think he's been pretty good today. On this rep, he jumps the route for Debo Samuel on the curl. He's able to nab the interception, and he's going to give us really good field position, and we've got a chance to take the lead here. What a play by Patrick Surtain. At the 25, 3rd down and 8. Nix looks to throw it. Under a little pressure, tries to throw it at the sack, and it's nearly intercepted. That was ballsy. In and out of the hands of the defensive back. I think that was Marcus Jones. 4th and 8. Kick is good from 42 yards out for Will Lutz. 2 for 2 on PATs, 2 for 2 on field goals. And it's 21-20, the lead within 1. New England has it back. Short throw is caught. That's Pop Douglas. Breaks the tackle. Gets the first down as he brings it to the 37. Not the biggest, but he is quick, strong, and mighty. 3rd down and 6 now for New England. A little bit past midfield. It's a screen. Mitchell will not get the first down. Drew Sanders with the initial contact, and then it's Nick Benito who finishes him off. And that'll wrap up the 3rd quarter. Should be a fun final 10 minutes. The Patriots lead it 21-20, but we do have the ball here. The offense started the game off strong. I feel like we haven't played as well since. We didn't really take advantage of the turnover. We did score, but only because of the field position off of the interception. So we're hoping for a better drive here to start the fourth as Nix throws out of the sack on third down, and we're going to have to punt it away. Princely Umanmielen in his second season out of Ole Miss was there with the pressure. Patriots back with it. Here is Drake May. Under pressure, bounces off a blocker, hit hard, and he gets the first down. A nice run there by Drake May, showing off his underrated scrambling ability, as it's now 3rd and 4. New England's used a lot of time off the clock, under 5 minutes to go now. May looks to throw it, goes short, it is caught. That's Elijah Mitchell with a first down. Gets by Surtain, and is wrapped up all the way at the 13 by a multitude of Bronco defenders. A big play after the catch there by Mitchell. Now at the 7, 3rd and 4. May, up the middle, broken up! A big play there by Jeffrey Bassa to keep New England out of the end zone, and the door is still certainly open for the Broncos. Chip shot field goal for Chase Allen is up and through, and so that'll make it 24-20. So a field goal does nothing for us. We need a touchdown on this drive. I've only gotten in the end zone once since the opening possession, but let's see what Magic Bo Nix has inside. It's been an underwhelming second half offensively for the Broncos so far, but they can change that here. Up the middle on third down, a big-time throw for Marvin Mims. He hangs on for the first down. Final play before the 2-minute warning. We will look for the ground, and Zamir White is going backwards. That was Jones who brought him down, and here we are at the 2-minute warning. New England leads 24-20. The offense is looking pretty solid so far, headlined by the big third down play by Marvin Mims. 2nd and 11. Nix up the middle. He's got Ashton Jeanty for the first down. Hit hard quickly by Kareem Reed, but he does convert. We're looking to hold on to our timeouts for as long as possible as it's now a 3rd and 10. Nix throws out of the sack. It's incomplete. St. Louis Dragons legend Jelani Tavai is the one with the blitz, and now here on 4th and 10, we're going to go for it. We do have all 3 timeouts, but this could be the last opportunity for the offense if we don't get it. Nix calls an audible at the line. Looks to throw it. Quick pass. Quick catch. And a first down. Gain of 15 for Troy Franklin. That was the route that Nix audibled. He saw space up the middle and wanted to get the slant. 3rd and 4. Nix on the run. Incomplete. He was looking for Mims, but was under a lot of pressure from Umanmielen. With 30 seconds left, we are going to go for it again here on 4th and 4 at the 11. Nix throws. Quick catch by Mims. He is out of bounds at the 3. He wanted to tiptoe his way into the end zone, but he gets the conversion, and he stops the clock. So that works too. 22 seconds and all 3 timeouts. Nix on first down, under a lot of pressure. Quick throw, it's caught! Touchdown! Ashton Jeanty for the lead! A game-winning, or at least a potential game-winning drive by Bo Nix. And the Denver Broncos are up with less than 20 to go. In his first game back after a torn pectoral sidelined him for the second half of his rookie year, Ashton Jeanty with the potential go-ahead touchdown. Now, New England still has time. They've got 22 seconds and all 3 timeouts, and all they need to tie is a field goal. This game is far from over. At the 30, May, quick throw. It's caught by Deebo Samuel, quickly tackled by Surtain, and New England uses timeout number 1. They didn't use too much time. They're only 4 seconds. That was a really successful play. From the 43 now. May has a man wide open. Broken coverage, but it's incomplete. Oh, man, we just dodged a bullet there. There was no safety in the back end to cover Pop Douglas, but it was overthrown. With Chase Allen warming up on the sideline, 2nd and 10. Strike up the middle. Deebo Samuel into field goal range to the 34. And New England calls their second timeout. Do you go for the end zone, or do you try to center the kick and get it a little bit closer? New England's going to go for the latter, and they'll do just that. Elijah Mitchell gets 5. They'll use their last timeout with 6 seconds left, and this brings out Chase Allen. Coach Bonnet is going to call a timeout to look to ice the kicker. 46-yarder from Chase Allen to tie it and probably send this one to overtime. The kick is up, and it squeaks through. That was a close call, but New England ties it at 27. So it looks like this game is headed to overtime And it's a fitting way to start the year given the amount of OT games that we've played over the last 2 years, especially year one, but I think we still ended up with 3 last year. We are no stranger to overtime matchups. This is right in our wheelhouse, but we've got to win the coin toss. Tails never fails. You know you want to pick heads, New England. You know you want to do it. I believe in you, Drake May. They do pick heads, and it lands on heads. Unfortunate. So the Patriots win the toss. They will start with the ball. If they drive down the field and score a touchdown, then our offense will not get a chance with the ball. 5 minutes to go at the 46-yard line. 2nd and 10. May slant up the middle. He's got Deebo Samuel, who had a quiet start, but has played really well ever since his big fumble recovery touchdown early in the third quarter. At the 42, it's Elijah Mitchell up the middle. He gets the first down to the 28. Mitchell has been the guy in the running back room over Cam Akers and Phil Maffa today. 2nd down. May is sacked on the play. It took a minute, but it's Baron Browning who brings him down. Very solid season last year for Browning with an odd celebration. Now 3rd and 12 at the 30. May, quick throw, caught by Pop Douglas, and he will not get the first down. Pat Surtain, Nick Benito, and Jeffrey Bassa all there to bring him down, and New England has to settle for the field goal. 39-yard attempt for Chase Allen is up, and it is good. So the New England Patriots take the lead, 30-27, and now the offense will come on the field, only down by 3. Field goal ties, touchdown wins. Bo Nix, if you can hear us, please save us. Genty on first down goes backwards, not a good start. Kareem Reed and Jawan Bentley bring him down. 2nd and 12 now at the 31. Nix looks to throw it, scrambles to the right side, on the run, hoping somebody opens up, and it doesn't happen. Jordan Birch brings him down. A couple of former Oregon teammates meet in the backfield, and now that brings us to the 2-minute warning. 3rd down and 16. We've got to play against the clock as well now. Nix up the middle, gets it to Genty, trying to get some extra yards to make it a 4th and manageable. 4th and 5 to be specific. Game on the line. Nix rolls out under pressure from Birch, and it's caught. Tez Johnson with the first down to the 49-yard line, and the game stays alive. 2nd and 2. Here is Nix again, looking deep. He's got his man! Troy Franklin for about 35 yards. Denver has it inside the 10, and we're going to use a timeout. Biggest throw of the night from Bo Nix. 2nd and goal at the 8. Nix under pressure, cannot take a sack as it is dropped in the end zone. Franklin had it in his hands, would not have been an easy catch. If we don't get it here on 3rd and goal, we're going to have a really tough decision to make, whether we go for it or kick. It's Genty, breaks a tackle, breaks another, and he is in for a touchdown! Ashton Genty walks it off, and the Denver Broncos win a thriller here in Week 1 on Monday Night Football, and we will start the year 1-0. Genty scores the go-ahead touchdown towards the end of regulation, and he gets the game winner here in overtime. What a game, what a start to the year. New England had us on the edge of their seats. There was about 2 or 3 separate 4th downs or do-or-die plays for our offense, and we connected every time, including that 3rd and 8 run for Genty. If we didn't get it, I don't know what I would have done on 4th down. Take the field goal and play for the tie, or risk it and go for the win. I guess it would have depended on the field position. I thought Bo Nix played a pretty solid game. Certainly wasn't perfect. Missed some throws here and there. But overall, a pretty solid first game back. When we needed big drives late from him and big throws, we got them. Drake May was pretty good too, and apparently DJ Uyunglele got in there. I literally did not notice that. I do not know when that happened. On the ground, both teams ran the ball pretty well. Ashton Genty with 2 scores. Nice game from Deebo Samuel. Jalen Polk was pretty solid. Marvin Mims, 6 for 61 in a score. Tez Johnson had some big catches. Troy Franklin had some big catches. Jonnu Smith looked pretty good. Defensively, not great. We only had 2 sacks. The pass rush was kind of underwhelming. The coverage, I don't think, was great down the stretch. The defense was the strength last year, but I don't think it was the reason why we won this game. We already saw all the scores in Week 1, but if you want to take another look, here they are. 3 teams in the AFC West win this week as we take a look at our players of the week. They will ultimately go to Jordan Love, Patrick Mahomes, Joey Bosa, and Andre Sisco. So Mahomes throwing for 4 touchdowns. He's already loose and already ready to go here in his age 30 season. I believe this is year number 10 for Patrick Mahomes. Time really does fly. We've got a few storylines here, including the rookie blueprint for Garrett Nussmeier. Again, I don't know why so much focus is on his development. I think they did this with DJ Uiagalelei last year. If I had to pick an area to improve, I think it would be accuracy. If Bo Nix did get hurt and we needed him in there, the biggest thing would be accuracy. Just make solid throws and give our receivers opportunities after the catch. We've got a press conference to have here as well coming into our Week 2 matchup against the Chiefs. How do you feel about the result in the season opener? Well, obviously I'm happy we won the game. And the offense deserves the most credit. They were better than the defense. They won us this game on multiple occasions. Who gets the game ball? I think this is a pretty easy choice. First game back from injury. Certainly wasn't a perfect day for Ashton Jeanty, but he scored the big touchdown at the end of the 4th, and he scored the big touchdown to win it in overtime. So a really, really strong first game back for Jeanty. We're going to continue to ease him in. He only had 13 carries this week. As we take a look at Kansas City, they won 31-23 in Week 1 against the Jets. We know how good Patrick Mahomes is. We know how good the skill position guys are. I didn't think they were going to re-sign Isaiah Pacheco, but they did, pairing him with Jaden Ott and the rookie Kavorian Barnes out of UTSA. The receivers are obviously great. The offensive line is one of the best in the NFL. The defense is one of the best in the NFL. The job that Brett Veach has done building this roster is really impressive. And it's kind of crazy because they have missed on a lot of early picks in recent years. Guys like Felix Anudike-Uzomah and Sky Moore being picked really high have not worked out. Brian Cook is on a different team now as well. He was a second rounder. But it doesn't matter. This team finds ways to develop guys late in rounds. And, well, obviously they've got number 15, the best in the business, under center. Play action. Mahomes under pressure. Up the middle with a big-time throw for Rashee Rice. I think that was Nick Benito who just about smothered him in the backfield. Benito was pretty good in the run game in Week 1 against New England, but did not have any sacks. 2nd and 2. Here's Mahomes looking deep. It's picked off. Riley Moss with the interception, and he will take it out of bounds to the 19-yard line. The first possession defensively ends with a turnover. We're certainly hoping for a strong game out of the defense. Do I like our chances against Mahomes and company? Kind of. Obviously, I have faith in this defense. It could have just been a slow Week 1 start. That is pretty common, but it's not going to be easy against Mahomes and company. 3rd and 10, Franklin laterals it to Jeanty. Wow, a creative play there by Troy Franklin. Doesn't get us the first down, however. It's only a gain of 9, and that will go in the stat sheet as a 9-yard run for Ashton Jeanty. 3rd and 8 for the Chiefs. Here is Mahomes under pressure. This one is caught, and it's not going to go for a first down. Patrick Surtain makes sure to push Xavier Worthy out of bounds. Really nice play there by PS2. Denver back with it. Nix is sacked on the play there on 2nd down. It's a loss of 9. A couple guys were there, including the rookie Aaron Graves, one of the many defensive linemen that the Chiefs drafted this year. Nice juke move on 3rd down by Mims. It only results in a gain of around 4. The All-Pro Chris Jones, one of the best in the business and future first ballot Hall of Famer, brings him down. Chiefs back with it. 3rd and 3. Pacheco is going backwards. Nick Benito and Drew Sanders deny him. An interesting decision on 4th and 4, and the Chiefs bring out the field goal unit. 55-yarder for Butker is up, and it is through. Harrison Butker delivers, which is what he's going to want his wife to do after the game with his dinner. 3-0 lead for the Chiefs. Denver gets it back minutes ago in the quarter. 2nd and 5. Nix up the middle. He's got Marvin Mims with a first down to the 48. Mims' ability to run the entire route tree and make plays after the catch honestly really reminds me of Arturo Modelo. He's not as good as Modelo, but I think there's a lot of similarities. Tez Johnson wide open, has a block from Mims. There he goes. He trips up and is down at the 4. A huge play, though, after the catch by Tez Johnson. And we'll see if Denver can punch it in. Final play of the quarter. They go to the ground, and Jeanty loses a couple. A 3-0 lead through 1 for the Chiefs. A defensive battle to start, but the big plays by Mims and Johnson bring the Broncos in the red zone with a chance to take the lead early in the 2nd. We'll see if we can do it. After a loss of yardage on 1st and goal, it's now 2nd down. The rookie, Gavin Sawchuk, in the backfield, and his first NFL carry goes for a loss of 4. Really wasn't his fault, though. Furious George Karlaftis brings him down, and it's 3rd and goal. Sawchuk in the game again. Up the middle, caught by Jonnu Smith, and he gets 7. Back to the original line. Jay Higgins, the second-year linebacker from Iowa, brings him down, and we're just going to take the 3. Unable to do anything in short yardage there. Zamir White, by the way, not playing today, suffered a back injury in practice. Hence why Sawchuk is getting some run. 2nd and 6, play action, it's a blitz! And Drew Sanders is in the backfield to bring down Mahomes, a loss of around 7. Great play there by Sanders, who I thought had a pretty strong game in week 1. Now 3rd and 13. Mahomes on the run. He will go short, and it's a gain of around 9 or 10 for Xavier Worthy. Not going to be enough for a first down. He's wrapped up by Marvin Grant, who's also played quite well so far this year. That'll lead to a punt. Denver gets it back. Man in motion, that's Jonnu Smith. Play action, Nix rolls out under pressure on the run. He's got Mims! Quickly wrapped up by Denzel Burke, but not before bringing it to the 43. And as I talked about in the last game, that's what I meant when Bo Nix is so effective in play action. The chemistry he has with Mims is very special. Under pressure here on 3rd and 8, it's a big loss. It's Stephen Daly, the first rounder from NC State, had 13 sacks this past year with the Wolfpack. Gets his first NFL sack with the Chiefs, and that leads to a punt. Still tied at 3. Here is Worthy with plenty of room. Hard to beat him in a foot race, and Marvin Grant actually does catch up, but not before he brings it all the way to the 23-yard line. 2nd and 4 now at the 17 here for Kansas City. Mahomes looks to throw it up the middle. This is Isaiah Pacheco. He gets around 10 to the 7. Kansas City in the red zone looking to score the first touchdown for either team all day. 1st and goal. It's a screen, but Mahomes is sacked on the play by Jonathan Cooper. I think he had one last week, so now he gets another sack today. 2nd and goal at the 16. Here is Mahomes looking. That one is caught just outside of the end zone by Rashee Rice. 3rd and goal at around the half-yard line, if that, for Kansas City. Ferguson in motion and goes back to the right. Delayed handoff, and Pacheco beat up in the backfield. Cameron Hayward, I think, has given us a pretty solid impact so far. Nick Benito is there as well. We're going to call a timeout, and the Chiefs are just going to settle for a field goal. Harrison Butker on to kick for the Chiefs. His kick is through. Butker has done his job today, just as it is the housewife's job to cook food and care for the children. His words, not mine. 1st and 20 after a penalty. Nix dances around under pressure, cannot get rid of it, and he is sacked on the play. That was Daly again sending pressure. And on 3rd and 35, as you can see, we're just chewing the clock here. We do not want the Chiefs to get much of an opportunity with the ball. Solid run for Genty, stays in bounds, gets 15. And that'll wrap up a defensive first half. 6-3, no touchdowns. Who could have seen that coming into today? The good news is that our defense has been a lot better than it was last week. This looks a lot more like the defense from last year. The offense, though, is completely regressed. As we take a look at our halftime report across the rest of the NFL, we're going to start things off in Seattle. The Chargers face off against Avery Johnson and the Seahawks. Can both teams lose, please? Currently, LA leads 14-10, headlined by this touchdown from Justin Herbert to Amari Cooper. Obviously, the Chiefs are the big name in the division. I still believe heavily in the Raiders. And obviously, we're quite good, but don't sleep on the Chargers. Dameon Pierce has been a great free agent signing. I think Patrick Payton in the first round is going to be a home run pick. And they have one of arguably the 5 best quarterbacks in the NFL with Justin Herbert. In Arizona, the Falcons taking on the Arizona Cardinals. Michael Penix and Trayshawn Holden picking up right where they left off last year, putting on a show. Trayshawn Holden was one of the best receivers in the NFL. Not only did he win the Offensive Rookie of the Year, but he won the NFC Offensive Player of the Year. And here at halftime, he has 5 catches for 119 yards and 2 touchdowns. Already one of the best receivers in the National Football League. And then in the Meadowlands, Thursday Night Football, Jalen Milroe versus Jalen Daniels, the top 2 quarterbacks in the 2025 draft. And Jalen Milroe continues what's been a pretty solid start for him with this touchdown here by Garrett Wilson to end the first quarter. There were no touchdowns in this game after the first quarter as the Jets take the win 20-10. The Raiders are now 0-2. Jalen Daniels played a pretty bad game, completed less than 50% of his passes. Obviously, it's early to talk about the B word with him, bust, but Jalen Daniels has really struggled to adjust to the NFL up to this point. Complete far cry from the guy we saw as a senior at the University of Kansas. Going into the second half, I want a little more consistency from the passing game. Bo Nix has been kind of up and down so far. And then defensively, we've been able to stop Mahomes. It's going to be hard to do that 2 halves in a row, though. 3rd and 2, Denver starts with the ball. Genty does not get the first down. Kansas City stops them at the line, and they will get the ball back. We haven't really been able to run the ball that well either. As on 3rd and 2, here's Terrence Ferguson with a nice first down, wrapped up by Marvin Grant at the 42. Ferguson, of course, the replacement at tight end for Travis Kelce. 3rd and 13, Mahomes looking for the sideline, and Rashee Rice is not in bounds. Rashee Rice wanted to continue the drive, but as the officer should have done that one fateful afternoon in Dallas, didn't pull him over. And so that leads to a punt. Denver back with it, 3rd and 10. Wide open, it's the rookie, Chris Brazzell, with his first career reception, and he brings it to the 50. A broken coverage there. Nobody saw him down the field. As Brazzell limps back to the bench, looks like he might have hurt his ankle. Still, quite the first career reception for the second rounder out of Tennessee. 3rd and 1, this is Estime. He does not get it. Kansas City with the stop. Donovan Izeriaku, the second-year defensive lineman out of Boston College, makes the play. 4th and 1 at the 30. We're going to go for it. Play action. Nix on the run with a strike. It is caught inbounds by Marvin Mims to the 12. A ballsy throw on 4th and 1 to go downfield, but it pays off. Here's Gavin Sawchuk with the run. 7th rounder out of the University of Oklahoma. Gets it to the 1, just shy of his first career touchdown, and the first touchdown of this game. 3rd and goal. Estime with a juke move. He's in for a score. It took nearly 3 quarters, but we finally had the first touchdown of the game. It's Audric Estime who makes the play, and that takes a 10-6 Bronco lead into the 4th quarter. Let's see if we can hang on, upset the Chiefs, and start our season 2-0 against 2 pretty strong opponents, obviously Kansas City in particular. This would be such a big win, coming out a short week as well. Mahomes up the middle. That one is caught to the 32 by Marquise Hollywood Brown. And now Kansas City starting to get something going here on offense. 3rd down and 4 at the 26. Ferguson in motion, goes back to the left. Mahomes will look for Ferguson, who breaks the tackle from Chris Abrams-Drain. And he brings it to the 12-yard line. A nice play there by Ferguson with some words to Javon McIntyre, the rookie from Kansas, getting some reps. As this one is caught by Worthy, breaks a tackle, not quite in. He's just shy, but he does get the first down. 1st and goal at the 1. Can the Chiefs get their first touchdown of the game? Play action. Mahomes into traffic. Not the kind that Rashee Rice likes, as it's caught by Jared Wiley for the score. The Kansas City Chiefs in the end zone for the first time all day. They lead at 13-10. Denver back with it, just over 5 to go. 3rd and 2. Genty to the outside. Gets the first down and a little bit more as it's around 10. Quiet-ish game for Genty. He's averaged a little over 4 yards a pop as it's 3rd and 4 with under 4 to go. Nix's pass is offline, incomplete, and the Chiefs get the stop defensively. I think he was looking for Franklin. Oh, look at this. The Broncos are going to go for it. 4th and 4 up the middle. It's intercepted. The receiver was open, but the pass was offline. Jaden Hicks picks it off. Rasheed Walker is hurt. Everything seems to be imploding now as Walker goes to the locker room. That is not a good sight to see. The new starting right tackle. Chiefs looking to end the job at this point. 2nd and 4. It's Pacheco. Spins into a loss. Chris Abrams-Drain brings him down. Denver, of course, uses a timeout. 3rd and 6, 2:27 to go. Mahomes looks to throw it. Looking for the end zone. It's Rashee Rice with the touchdown, and the Chiefs add to the lead. Colin Wright was behind him, trailing in coverage. I don't think that was really Wright's fault, though. That was Riley Moss's zone. He should have gotten there quicker and not had to rely on Wright to try to make a play. 2-minute drill down by 10. Here's a good start. Mims to the 46. They do keep him in bounds, though. Mims now over 100 yards today. 3rd and 10 at the 46. Up the middle, pass is well offline, nearly intercepted. Bo Nix's accuracy in this fourth quarter has been a complete disaster. He looks off. 4th and 10. Nix has a wide open receiver, and again, well overthrown. That was the rookie Brazel, who had nobody near him. A pitiful fourth quarter from Bo Nix as the Denver Broncos fall to 1-1, losing this game to the Kansas City Chiefs 20-10. Our defense certainly choked this game in the fourth quarter, but you can't blame them for the loss. They only let up 6 points through the first 3 quarters, and allowing 20 against a Mahomes-led offense is a win. We stopped the run. Mahomes was efficient, but he wasn't that effective until the fourth quarter, where he really played well. I think the biggest reason why we lost was Bo Nix. This reminded me of early last year where the offense was broken. But it wasn't that he was under pressure. He just missed a ton of throws, especially down the stretch. Neither team ran it that well. We were a little bit better than they were on the ground. Mims played well. All 3 of their receivers really produced. And then defensively, again, I thought we defended the run really well. The linebackers and Marvin Grant have been phenomenal this year. We do need a little bit more from the pass rush, though. Nick Benito has been really good in run defense, but he has 0 sacks so far. It didn't help that Mykel Williams was banged up throughout that game. His injury is not a long-term one, but I can't say the same for Rasheed Walker. Torn labrum, he will miss the next 4 weeks. Certainly unfortunate. He has already allowed 2 sacks this year, but neither of them were really his fault. They were on plays that Bo Nix really tried to extend and just didn't work out. So I don't really think Walker was to blame there. I thought he had played pretty well. These are your scores across the NFL. As for your players of the week, 5 all-purpose touchdowns for Jalen Hurts, looking to prove the Eagles wrong into drafting Nico Eameleava. He's joined by C.J. Stroud, Trevin Wallace, and Quincy Williams, who was responsible in some way for 3 separate turnovers. That brings us into next episode. Another doubleheader on the way. We're going to face off against some NFC West foes. Another home game, Week 3 against the 0-2 49ers, who are due for a win. And then we finally head on the road Week 4. We'll visit Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. Hope everybody enjoyed the episode. Good to get Season 3 started, and not 2 weeks later, unlike Season number 2. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Broncos country, let's ride!